Planning on adding Trail of the Cedars and Glacier National Park to your itinerary? Here's what you need to know before you head out on the trail. Hey there, I'm Alex from Alex on the Map, and I grew up right by Glacier National Park, so Trail of the Cedars is a trail I have some very fond memories of. My parents used to take me on it when I was a young kid, and I still really enjoy walking this boardwalk and getting to experience those beautiful cedars and Avalanche Gorge. In fact, I would recommend almost everyone take on this trail, whether or not you are a big hiker, just because it is so beautiful and it doesn't require a lot of physical activity. Quick tip before we get started, I definitely recommend you take some time to stop and enjoy those signs on the boardwalk so you can learn a little bit more about the area and why these cedars are so special. Alright, here are some quick stats before we get into the trail itself. It is 0.9 miles, making it a very quick and easy walk for you with about 49 feet of elevation gain, but most of this is located on a boardwalk, so you won't be able to feel it. And I would say the time on trail is approximately about 20 minutes overall. So this gives you plenty of time to explore the other things to do in Glacier National Park as well. Here's what you need to know in order to hike this trail. The Trail of the Cedars parking lot is also the Avalanche Lake Campground parking lot, meaning that this is a very busy spot during the summer months. This is also the start of the Avalanche Lake hike, which is one of the most popular hikes within the park, so expect to wait for some parking, or you might want to consider going early in the morning in order to get that coveted parking spot. You're also going to want to keep in mind that Glacier has a reservation system for this year and has had reservation systems in previous years. So as much as this is not fun, I would recommend getting in before 6 a.m. when reservations are required, because then that way you are much more likely to get that parking spot and you don't need to worry about that reservation system. However, if you would like some more information on this, I do have a whole video about the reservation system you might want to check out when planning your Glacier National Park trip. However, if getting there at 6 a.m. just seems way too overwhelming, the Glacier National Park shuttle also has this as a stop on its route. So you can get on without needing reservation at Apgar and take it directly to the Avalanche Lake Campground where you will start your hike. Once you get there, it is pretty easy to identify where the trailhead starts because there are plenty of signs letting you know where you need to go. This is a loop, so you will be starting and ending at the same place. One great thing about this trail, it is either paved or a boardwalk. There is very little actual trail, so you don't really need to worry about your footing or tripping over roots or rocks or that kind of thing. One of the things I love about this trail, other than the amazing towering cedars that you see, is their smell. It just smells so good walking along this trail. This is such a great hike for kids because not only do you have these signs letting them know about what they are experiencing, but it's just super easy as well and enjoyable. At the far end of the loop, you're going to see Avalanche Gorge, which has some of that amazing Gatorade blue water that you're going to want to take a picture of. Please remember to stay on the boardwalk during this time because several people have gone off trail and actually ended up dying pretty recently, so stay on trail. Also be on the look for chipmunks and squirrels. This is one of their favorite spots to hang out and gather food, so you'll probably see a bunch of them on your walk. Also along the loop, you will see a sign to continue on the Avalanche Lake hike. I have a whole video about this hike that you might want to check out to see whether or not it is good for your physical ability or it's something that you would be interested in at all. Do keep in mind it is quite a bit more difficult, so just so you know you don't embark on this hike without going into it a little bit more prepared. Here are some of my tips for hiking Trail of the Cedars. While it's not a hiking trail, I do recommend that you have some solid pairs of shoes with you. Flip-flops or sandals probably won't cut it, I'm gonna be honest. Tennis shoes, hiking boots, anything with a hard sole and a covered toe should be fine. As mentioned earlier too, I recommend going in either the morning or the evening just because it's not going to be as crowded either in the parking lot or on the boardwalk in general, so you're going to just enjoy it a lot more. Again, because this is such a great route for kids, you're going to want to keep an eye on them when it comes to that Avalanche Gorge area just to make sure they stay on the trail and don't go near the water, especially during the early summer months where the water is rushing very quickly. Okay, Okay, here are some common FAQs I get about hiking Trail of the Cedars. Is Trail of the Cedars wheelchair accessible? And one of the fantastic things about this hike is it is, in fact, wheelchair accessible for the entire loop. There is also some wheelchair accessible parking right at the trailhead, making it definitely the best option if you have some mobility issues or you're not a big hiker in general. Is Trail of the Cedars good for kids? It's actually maybe my top recommended hike if you have young children and if you're planning on carrying them on your back or they're just kind of learning to walk. This is definitely the best option for them in the park. What do I need to know if I want to continue on to the Avalanche Lake hike? First and foremost, it's pretty straightforward because you can see that there is parking for Avalanche at the Avalanche campground where you will be parking for Trail of the Cedars. But it's also pretty straightforward too because there is a very clear sign along Trail of the Cedars that lets you know where you need to start Avalanche. Plus, because it's such a popular hike, you're going to see a lot of people headed in that direction as well. Just so you're warned though, it is a bit more of a hike. So again, having some hiking boots is a good idea, some snacks, food and water, all of that in order to make sure that you are a bit more prepared for this hike is going to be necessary. What is the best way to get to Trail of the Cedars? And as I mentioned, if you are planning on taking your own vehicle, there is a vehicle reservation requirement for Glacier. If you do take your own vehicle, you're going to go along the shores of Lake McDonald, past the Lake McDonald Lodge until you reach the Avalanche Lake Campground parking lot. And as mentioned, you can also pop on the Glacier National Park shuttle at a number of different stops until you get to Avalanche Lake, which makes the whole process a lot easier if you don't feel like navigating the park on your own. I hope this has helped you get a little bit more information about Trail of the Cedars and Glacier National Park. I recommend hitting that subscribe button and the bell notification to get more information on Glacier and our other national parks.